Hey, Zach.
Hey, Ron.
I understand you have some credit-related questions?
I do.
Okay.
Let's say I just went through a bankruptcy. Is my credit ruined?
No. What happens is that on your credit score is going to indicate that you filed for bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a matter of public record, and at the bottom of the bankruptcy, it'll make a notation that as per public record, you filed for bankruptcy. And also on the individual entries where you had credit card entries where it showed what credit card you had when you took it out, what your balance was, what your payment history was. On that, it's going to say that that was discharged to a bankruptcy, and these things can stay on your credit report for as long as 10 years. There are some things that you could do to make your credit better, which I have a book that discusses that, and we'll talk more about that later. But your credit, in terms of negativity, we'll talk about positive and negative things. On the negative side of things, yes, you have all these entries in there, so when you go to apply for credit somewhere, they can look and they can see that you have a history of not making these payments. But they can see that you filed the bankruptcy at some past date, and you can't file bankruptcy again for 8 years if it's a Chapter 7. So you're not quite the credit risk the day after you file bankruptcy as you were the day before you filed bankruptcy. Number one is you just discharged all this debt, so you don't have all this baggage hanging on you that once you've discharged it, that you would have the day before you discharged it. So from a credit risk perspective, to someone who's given you credit, it's better because you don't have all that baggage.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing too is you can't file again for 8 years, and many creditors know that. So if you come and you've already filed, they know that if they extend credit to you, you can't write that off again for 8 years from the time that you last filed. So that's a benefit. So that helps out in them making a decision to potentially give you some credit. There is, continuing on the negative side, there are a limited pool of people that do lend to people that have filed a bankruptcy. In other words, the different types of lenders that you would have applied to had you had, say, a 700 credit score and higher, some of those won't lend to folks that have a lower credit score. So you do have a smaller pool of creditors that you could be applying to get credit, and of course that's a negative. On the upside, if you pay your bills, whatever bills that you have on a monthly basis, and don't miss payments and don't get behind on things, and intentionally go out of your way to purchase things on credit and then meet that monthly payment obligation, slowly but surely you will build your credit back up in the same manner as if you hadn't filed for a bankruptcy. So all these positive things that you would normally do to build up your credit that you would have been doing had you not filed for bankruptcy, it's not like anything changes. You know, all the rules of building good credit apply both before and after bankruptcy. Even during a bankruptcy, you know, you should be paying your bills on time to try to get back up. The bills that of course not the payments for the credit cards that you're writing off, but you know, your current obligations, your monthly payments, you know, your utilities, your mortgage payment, the things that you want to keep on track. So it doesn't ruin it, but it does put a mark that you filed for bankruptcy. And we found that 2 years out seems to be the magic number for car dealerships. If you're looking to get some car financing, within roughly 2 years, more car dealerships will look at you than earlier than 2 years. And then also with mortgages, if you were looking to buy a house, 4 years seems to be the magic number. If you try to apply for something within 4 years, that seems to be a trouble zone. But you know, 4 years out, the lenders tend to be not quite as stigmatized by the bankruptcy stamp that's on your credit report. So that's how I would answer the question related to some of the pros and the cons about your credit.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Ron.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.